Hello, everyone. My name is Edward Osredka. This is a talk show where I interview various artists in the entertainment industry, and today I have the extreme pleasure of interviewing Chocolette.
Hello, everyone.
King.
My name is Edward
She is an actor,
Osredkar,
director,
and
writer,
welcome
and
to my
producer, and she's going
YouTube
to
channel
all
talk
about
show
her acting career.
where I
So
interview
relax and
different people
enjoy
in the
my
entertainment
conversation
industry.
with
And
Chocolette
today I
King.
have the extreme pleasure of interviewing Chocolette Kea, an actor, director, producer, and writer. And welcome to the show, Chocolette.
Hi, Edward. How are you?
Good, thank you. The first thing that I wanted to start out with is how exactly did you get interested in acting? That's kind of a question that I always wonder about. You know, all actors. How did you become interested in acting?
I guess because of my parents, I've been acting since I was a little kid, and as long as I remember, my family always sort of wanted me to be involved in theater or music. So, as long as I remember myself, I've always been in little plays in the school, taking classes for, music, vocal classes, piano classes, you name it. So yeah, I'd say I got involved because of my parents.
Okay. Like your early theater background, you mentioned like you were involved in school productions and things like that. Were you ever involved, say, like in community theater, like the community that you grew up in? Did they have like a program that anyone could audition for?
Yeah, I did. Trying to remember. Well, before I came to US, I usually just did musicals mostly, but I did do theaters too. I can't really pick up any names right now, but for theaters, for musicals, I remember there was the Joseph and the Multicolored Dreamcoat.
Okay, a multicolored or amazing dreamcoat, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was one. It was a musical though, so I don't know if that counts, but yeah, I guess for community theater, I have not been involved where I live right now, but as a kid, I did it, but I can't remember. So maybe the answer is no, probably. But I'm very interested in doing that at some point.
Yeah. Did they have, like, in the area? I know in the area that I grew up here in upstate New York State, they had like a summer stock theater that was just for the summer months for actors that came from like the metropolitan areas, and they'd come up here during the summer and spend their summers, up here with theater like that. Was there anything like that where you come from?
I wish. As you and I met during sort of like a community theater, but over Zoom. So if that counts, I've been doing a lot of theater, but because of COVID, it has always been through camera and on like a Zoom theater, like you and I did for the Alpha NYC. I have been doing a lot of those, but when you say community theater, for some reason, in my mind, it was always just going physically to a theater and then acting there. Which I haven't done since COVID. And I may have mentioned, like, I got a lot of training as a kid on theater and musicals. And then when I started college, I sort of took a break up until when COVID happened. And then all I was left with the online versions of theater. So that's where I picked up from, basically.
Right. So basically, like you were saying, you do like more of a lot of films, and those of us that have had to get used to the Zoom theater with all the isolation with COVID and everything, I guess, is it fair to say that maybe Zoom is sort of like a good training ground for like being on film, like in front of the camera?
Absolutely. I also have done little TV series. I recently completed a scene for a movie that was all done via Zoom. I think there's a lot of potential for that. It's also very comfortable for actors where, when you do a movie, for example, you do shots like 3 times from different angles, and it's really tiring. It takes whole day. and then you have to wait out for things to get recorded. So over Zoom it's just way easier. I guess the producers can just do it on their own time.
Yeah. So probably it would be like fair to say that comparing Zoom with actual on-camera film work, an actor gets used to the different angles that they have to be comfortable with, depending upon what the scene is about, if it's like a close-up or maybe like a behind the actor, looking towards the other actor that they're talking to. So I guess that also could be like a good training ground for kind of being aware all the time of where the camera is. So is that something that you found out, say like through Zoom, along those lines?
Yeah, I'd say mostly through TikTok. I used to do like these little challenges with the actors I follow, like duet me challenges. And yeah, I guess it really makes you get used to like looking at the camera and acting. But when you go to Zoom acting, for example, with the theaters we did, depends on the director, but they usually want you to look at the camera and like be aware that you're like doing all the effects for the camera, whereas when you do a movie, they may just like not want you to do that. They might want you to just ignore the camera and look at whoever is there in the scene. So it's, I guess it changes depending on who is directing and what kind of stage directions you have.
You were mentioning TikTok. I know that you've been on TikTok. Have you been on that medium for a while, or that's something that you just got into? The TikTok.
Yeah, so like I said, when COVID happened, I got on TikTok out of boredom, and then I realized like most of my videos that got really a lot of hits were just my face when I was like acting, but not with a lot of words, just like mimics. So that got me into acting. Like I just sort of started taking classes, independent classes, and then I sort of took a break from it. So now I post maybe once a month. I try to do actual acting work now that I can get paid for it. Basically.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's always an incentive, pay no matter how much or whatever it is. Yeah, but compared to me, you're an expert in TikTok. I haven't ventured into that medium yet. I'm taking Instagram as far as I can go, and maybe someday if I feel a little more daring, maybe I'll venture into TikTok. But for now, Instagram's okay with me for now at this stage. So that kind of brings me to a question, like we've been talking both about film, which you've had more exposure to, and theater not quite so much. So I don't know if this is a question that you really can answer, or if you like both. Is there a preference that you have, say, like between actual on-stage theater versus films, or do you like them both the same?
It's like my children. I like them both, not the same, but I love them both. With theater, I miss like theater and musicals. I guess what I can remember is more musicals, but I love just having the audience and just like feeling the energy,
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Yeah. I miss that. I have done some live theater, like dinner theater productions. That was a lot of fun, but with less audience, because you also gotta take care of their food or drinks, stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it. That was very recent, but it wasn't like community theater. It was more private venues for like you act and then you serve drinks or food during the acting. So that was great.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
What were you saying?
No, I was going to say going to take that topic of dinner theater. I know years ago I was involved in dinner theater too, and I don't know if you got the same impression, but like an audience during dinner theater, like after they've had their dinner and then then they're ready to watch you on stage. I don't know. To me, after they've got a full stomach and they've eaten good food and everything, I don't know. It seems to me that they're a lot looser, and it's like you get a better reaction out of them because they got a full stomach and they're happy and they're ready to watch the show. And I don't know if you found that experience in yours, but I don't. Have you ever found that to be true? What's that?
Have you done any dinner? I'm sorry. Have you done any dinner theater?
Oh yeah, I've done a few dinner theaters. We used to have like a small hotel in town, and we did some like murder mysteries, like Agatha Christie. I did a lot of Agatha Christie plays and things like that. So to me, it seems like with the serious, heavy plot lines of like a murder mystery, like an Agatha Christie series or something. I don't know. It seems like the audience was a little bit more receptive after they enjoyed a good meal and they were ready to just to sit back and kind of enjoy everything. So that's why I was wondering if you ever found that to be true, that the audience was a little bit looser and wanted to be was ready to be entertained a little bit more since they got comfortable with all with a good meal.
Yes, and no. So in the shows I did one, it was called Dinner Detective, where the show goes on as dinner is served, but like you start with the show when people are eating their salad, and then there's like an intersession where they're served their main course, and then when you start the second act, there's a dessert. So like I guess maybe I named it wrongly. So you do a little breaks where the service people come in and like they change courses, and then you keep acting it out. So by the time they're done with dessert, the show is over usually.
Okay.
Because I think the premise was that they didn't want people to get too sleepy or too drunk.
Yeah.
To solve the murder.
That would be a problem there. I think if that happened, you'd kind of be missing the applause at the end. So you'd probably wonder, gee, did I do a good job? Nobody's clapping for me, that. But that's because they. What's that chemical? Like when you eat turkey, what is it? Tryptophan or something like that, where it kind of makes you sleep, or something like that.
Milk.
Like milk. Like warm milk. Yeah, when you want to relax and and feel sleepy at the end of the day. Yeah, but yeah, since we covered a lot of the topics about stage and film and dinner theater and things like that, talking about the topic of film, you have a new short film that is in the makes, and I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay. So this short film / movie, which is now turning into a little longer movie, is about. It started as a short film, but the more the actors are involved, it's getting longer. It's about a place named the Complex where people sign up and they can get fulfillment for any of their pleasures. The idea came from an Apple podcast named The Urban Complex, and they posted the festival to like a general festival webpage, and they're looking for people to shoot a movie version that is in the same universe as the podcast that they have. So the movie takes place in the place called Complex, but we're supposed to record anything other than what goes on in the rooms of the complex. So basically, I can't have any characters who are room masters, like people who are serving the clients. But other than that, I can have anybody I want. So right now, basically what I did is I posted a message on my Instagram to recruit actors that I know, like you, Edward, and
I wasn't going to make I wasn't going to make a shameless plug. I thought that I'd let you speak for me. Yes, thank you.
there is, yeah, it's been amazing. Just so many very talented people replied, and now I have over 20 people, I think, who are professional actors, and they're just amazing. And I've been asking them what kind of character they want to play, and then shaping the plot as it goes, depending on what the actors want to play. And I'm hoping it's fun for everybody. Yeah. Right now it's almost done. I have maybe 3 or 4 more scenes to go. One with you and Nick. Hopefully we'll do that in person, but a lot of it is via, like, actors have been shooting on their own. So what happens is let me tell you about the process very quickly.
Sure.
So I ask, so yeah, once somebody tells me they're interested, I message them saying, what kind of character do you want to play? And then I write it sort of along the script that is developing with the plot, send it to the actors, they shoot on their own after reading the script with the stage directions. And if something needs to be edited, we work together on it. And then when I finalize it, I ask for permission to share it with the narrator, who is Jim Hamilton, as you may know. And then once Jim records his like voice, sends it to me, and I finalize the scene. And then I do editing with the sound and everything. So there's a lot to do in terms of producing. And I'm aware that since a lot of it is done by actors with their own camera and sound equipment, it's an amateur movie. So like the sound is never going to be like it's done in a studio. But I have accepted it, so that I think is a sort of a setback for the festival jury, but I'm okay with it because I think it's been a lot of fun, and this is why I'm doing it, is just to sort of connect with my actor friends, and it's been really fulfilling to do that. Yeah,
I know on my end, I really had a lot of fun doing it so far. Like like on my Instagram page, I sort of wanted to put like teasers out there before the actual film is finished, about sitting on a chair on the beach and this and that, and I had a great time filming that. I mean, I was on the beach in front of a lake. I mean, what better kind of film could that be? Just taking in the breeze from the lake, and then different scenes that I've done in my apartment to make it actually look like the set that you wanted that scene to look like. And yeah, I know. I was going to say, you brought up the fact that there was a lot of actors in this. I just happened to see your Instagram stories today about the whole list of actors and the title of the movie and everything, and it's quite an undertaking, and it's quite a tribute to you to coordinate all of us different actors and write the story and plan the filming, and so all these plans for the number of actors and the kind of filming and the shots that you wanted to get. That must have taken an awful lot of planning, didn't it? For all the pieces to come together like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I just met with you might know Justin Yance today, and like he was initially gonna be in another scene, and then one of the actors couldn't make it because it happens, and then we sort of had a Zoom chat to like figure out what kind of character he wants to play, and I think he's gonna help me write his own scene, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I've basically I've been organizing it, but just it has been very organic. So I haven't I didn't ever sit down and just think about, okay, I'm writing scenes 1, 2, 3 today. It always evolved around the actors and what they wanted to do, and just me picturing like how they would converse with each other. So it's been pretty organic, basically. I think I didn't need to organize a lot so far, but now that I sat down to actually put the script together, now I'm like trying to remember which one goes first and then where this is coming and where is the story going, like how is it gonna end? That takes a lot of thinking. And I guess
Yeah.
I would like just have someone help me produce it, but I don't really know anyone who would do it for free, and it takes a lot of time. So I decided just to give it a shot and try to do it on my own. But
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the future, hopefully I'll work with, maybe I can write and direct a little bit, and somebody who's professionally producing and who's like a professional sound person can help me out with another one, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all new endeavors take a lot of time and a lot of planning and things like that. And like they say, the more you have experience with something, the better it is. And my experience with this process, has been A1 so far. I mean, like I said, enjoyed the collaboration with you, and in the future, with you and Nick there for the actual on location filming and things like that. So yeah, it's been a really interesting process, and one more thing that I'd like to ask you is that this is a sort of a combination between on location and virtual. So when you were planning that, were your plans to more have the whole project on location, or like more of a combination between the on location and the virtual? Because I know some of the actors are performing like with like virtual backgrounds and sending them to you. So how did you decide how to plan that, like the virtual versus the the actual on location?
Actually, I'm glad you mentioned the virtual background. That's one thing I never asked them to do. So like whenever okay, let me answer the question. So first, I planned it so it would be both. I wanted it to be like a new style of movie making where if you can't get the actors in place, it's still okay. They can just shoot it on their own. And I think this is gonna catch up because of like things like COVID and travel restrictions.
Oh,
I think this is a good way to
definitely.
overcome, yeah, that problem of like can't have everybody on set maskless all the time.
Right.
And then I always ask, if you're shooting on your own, you can do like a Zoom recording, but never to have a virtual background because that looks very stable. And it just doesn't work, like especially if you're moving and like things get like lost, you know, like your hair disappears all of a sudden, things like that.
Yeah.
I never wanted to see that, so I always ask people to, if they want to do it over Zoom, like together with the other actors, never to use a virtual background, basically.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the big challenges today. That Zoom is convenient, but if you're going to do Zoom with a virtual background, you want everything to look as good as possible. Just like if it was an actual film, like with a real background in back of you. So yeah. So.
I think that works, like the Zoom backdrop works amazingly for theater when you do like Zoom theater, but for the movie, just to not break reality, I thought it's better to just have a white wall behind you, instead if you don't have anything.
Right.
And then just like maybe close up to your face so we can't tell where you are.
Right. And not only that, but like for a virtual background, like you were saying, to have like a white wall in back of you, if you have like any other color, you sort of have to be careful what you wear, because if you have a green background and you mistakenly wear something that's green, it's like if you wear like a green shirt or blouse or whatever, it's like you're just going to see a floating head go across the screen, and the entire body is going to disappear. So
Yeah.
White would definitely be the way to go for a background. Yeah.
Yeah, initially for one of the scenes with Catherine Black and Giancarlo Saponte, they have sort of like a flirtation scene in an elevator. And I asked them to shoot it in an elevator, and they just both said they don't have like a luxurious elevator just lying around. So I went to one, I got some pictures. What I did is like take like camera angles from different, just so it would fit exactly where their camera is. But then when we tried to set it up, their Zoom wasn't like the latest version or something like that, and it just didn't work. So we just decided to not have a backdrop. So that was the one exception. I let people have backdrops, but then when I tried to set it up with them, it didn't work. So we just let it go.
Right. Well, yeah, a lot of times you just sort of have to make decisions like spur of the moment and sort of use your best judgment, even though things can be planned out. Naturally, everybody realizes that things can go wrong in the process, so you sort of have to make like a quick adjustment to make the product come out the way that you want to. So yeah. Well, I have really enjoyed talking to you and learning. I know there's so much more to you, but we'll have to make that for another time. And hopefully you want to come back another time and tell the rest of the story about Chocolate Kea. And I'm sure all the viewers would really like to hear everything else that you have to tell about your talents and things that you're interested in things. So I would like to thank you very much for being on my show, and I wish you good luck with your career and for this short film that you're embarking on. And it's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Edward.
Okay.
I hope to talk to you again. Bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.